The following program does not necessarily represent the views and opinions of Reality Radio 101, its advertisers and sponsors, or its listening audience. Listener discretion is advised. Afternoon and welcome to the Liquid Green Health Show with your hosts Fred and Janet Cox right here on Reality Radio 101. To get on board right now, send us an email. Our email address is liquidgreenhealthshow@gmail.com. And now, ladies and gentlemen, right to your hosts of the Liquid Green Health Show, Fred and Janet Cox.
Hello. hello, everyone. Good afternoon. It's another Sunday afternoon. And to all our listeners and viewers across Canada, the United States, and around the world, we are the Coxes. And thank you once again for allowing us into your wonderful space. Welcome to the Liquid Green Health Show. Every Sunday at this time, we have fun because we offer, tips and all kinds of stuff in an edutainment format. It's designed to stimulate the mind and help bring us one step closer to living a healthier lifestyle. And if you want to catch previous broadcasts, it is rebroadcast on Spotify as well as YouTube. So please punch in Liquid Green Health Show and you're going to, get all our shows coming up. Hit the like button, the share, comment, please subscribe, do all of those things. And because we need the boost, right?
Right. Because why? You can't bring them in on your own.
What? What?
Much do you need the boost?
Yeah, we need the boost.
You sound desperate, Cox.
Yeah, it's a desperate situation here, folks. We need the boost.
No, we would like to have boost.
I am sticking to we need the boost.
Okay, we
all
need
right.
you actually.
Yeah, like how the Raptors needed a win.
Oh, God, no, I don't even want to talk about that because I am not a fan, all right, of most of the sports. Yeah. We watch hockey. Because Kofi, our son
watches hockey.
Forces us to watch hockey. He gets so distraught every year. I don't know how they do it, these fans. But I, against my will, I watched the game. And
because you watched the game, they lost. Because you watched the game, they lost. You jinxed the Raptors.
How could they have such 18-point lead? Yeah. In the end of the third quarter, and they lose the game.
Well, they just got tired,
At the end of the game, you have 2 points to score, standing in front of a net, and you don't make that.
It's a Toronto thing. That's all.
Good news. The weather is good.
Yeah, they walk with doo-doo. They had doo-doo in their pants, right? So
the weather is great.
The weather is great. We have wonderful summer-like weather, but somebody told me that we're going to be having snow next week. I don't know.
At least cold.
But anyway,
we're here. It's good that the weather is great because I saw people out this week in micro shorts and people were having volleyball on the beach. Yeah. You would believe this was the middle of July.
Listen, man, we've been locked up for too long, all those months locked up, and I'm wearing a coat. So it's time to expose it, folks. Let it all out.
Great, because for the topic today, we are going to be talking about these gadgets.
Yeah, but before we get
love to wear.
Yeah, before we get to that, I have to let people know that yes, folks, you can write us in with your comments, your questions. Please send us those comments and questions to liquidgreenhealthshow@gmail.com. Let us know where you're listening from. And, we will try to respond to as many emails as possible. We have a wonderful topic, a beautiful guest this evening. And our topic, to be honest, I do not know anything about what we're going to be talking about today.
Me too. to really go heavy on the research.
Yeah, we have to go heavy on the research, but it's an important topic because it's controlling a lot of the things that we do. It's into our everyday life. And so we thought we would try to blend it in with a health aspect to it.
Right.
Right.
Plus it's technology.
It's
and
technology.
I love technology.
Right.
I actually want to live for another 200 years because I don't want to die before I see everything that's coming.
I want to live long without wrinkles. Without the wrinkles.
Anyway.
Right. So our topic today is about technology and our health. So that's what we're going to be discussing, and we're going to be talking specifically about wearable gadgets. These are super cool, devices, and they're exciting. A lot of people I see wearing them. You go to the gym, you see people wearing it. You're walking down the streets, you're standing in a supermarket.
Yeah.
Not everybody, but most people are getting these things and are wearing them. It is,
and the young and the old.
Yeah, it is bringing a whole new level of tech into our lives. Right. And these things are so sensitive. They're so, intelligent, for lack of a better term, because they keep track of what you eat. They can keep an eye on your heart rate. They even let you know if you're getting too stressed out. That's how good these things are.
They can actually tell you things about your body without you even knowing.
Precisely.
Right?
And so it is, as I said, it is a tool that is doing some very important things in our lives. So that's what we're going to be talking about.
If you're a good boy today, I will buy you a watch. If Brian convinces us that, they're good.
So you heard that?
I will actually
buy. My birthday is next month, so I'm looking forward.
Your birthday,
I'm looking forward to that, right? But let me give you some stats. Let me give you some stats on these wearable gadgets. In 2021, the market size of wearable technology was about 115.8 billion. Yes, that's billion, folks. And it is expected to reach 380.5 billion by 2028. That's in another 5 years, right?
So it's time to invest in.
It's time to start getting it. And I would imagine that they will have perfected the technology, right? 320 million health wearable devices will be shipped worldwide as of last year. By next year, in 2024, it will reach around 440 million.
And
devices.
You're going to 440 million.
And I'm going to get one of those. Okay. Now, wearable technologies are expected to reduce 16% of hospital costs, right, by 2027. And by 2037, it could save about $200 billion with its remote patient monitoring devices.
And that's why we're talking about it.
And that's why we've decided to talk about it, because this is something that, whether you like it or not, is going to have an impact on, if not yourself, on your friends or your neighbors. So let's talk about it. So here to help us to really understand, what these gadgets are, the role that it plays in especially the younger generation, the millennials' lives, right, is someone that we know all too well.
Yes.
Right. And I'm going to let you do the introduction.
Great pleasure. But Brian, before I introduce you officially, I just want to read just a couple of emails. Normally we read this later in the show, but we have one.
And somebody
Carl,
picked up on it.
And Carl says the Raptors suck. He agreed with us.
Aww.
But he says, we love Liquid Green, and we love you, Carl, and we love all the people who write in, because we just love your emails. And Brian, you're going to have a little bit of a challenge today because so many of the current emails are saying they're junk, forget them, they're scam.
Go back to the pen and paper.
So we're going to go. All right. So let me introduce you. Brian is actually Brian Bennett, and she is my brother's eldest child. And Brian, I'm going to say this because I don't know who are the other ones who are listening, the family, but you're the favorite of all the favorite nieces, right? And I'm sure I'm going to.
They always say that,
right? And Brian is my niece, but if I say that, Frederick is going to say, "Well, she's my niece too." You've inherited her, right?
Oh, okay.
And Brian has sisters and brothers, and my brother is quite prolific, so he has a pretty big family. right? Anyway, you I admire because you're one of the healthiest people I know. And as I was saying to you just before we came on air, I says, when I grow up, I want to be like you. You have the physique, you have the drive, you have the energy, you have the passion, and you're smart. You just embrace so many of the things that I think um, are great in young people, in old people too, but in young
Why are you
people.
pointing to me?
Okay. I know your mom, Lisa, she actually gave me a Fitbit years ago and it broke and I've never had another one. So yesterday, while we were walking on the beach, it came to me, why don't we invite Brianne on the show? So on very short notice to all our listeners, Brianne agreed because I know she's not going to say no to Auntie Janet, but I know you're busy. Why are you so busy this week? Tell us about your plans coming up.
I'm going on a very long vacation. For the next month, I'll be in Australia, then Indonesia, then Vietnam.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if you can share anything with us. You went to university where?
Oh, I went to University of Montreal. I went to Concordia. I studied political science. I came back and was looking for a job, so I decided to go back to school. And then I got my paralegal license. Luckily for me, I started working at legal aid, and then I bet on myself and I applied to work at a tribunal, and now I'm an adjudicator. So that's
Wow.
my life.
Hey,
Right?
excellent.
So that is so fantastic. So what's the future? If that's already, and you're only like, you're millennial, you're only mid-30s, what's the future? If you could
Honestly,
prescribe your life, what would you want that to be? Do you know yet?
just more travel.
More-
I don't think I want to leave this job. I don't think I can ever go back to a job
Okay.
that is not flexible.
Right, right. So you own one of these gadgets.
I do.
But before you
So
tell us about the gadget, tell us about your lifestyle. Right?
my lifestyle. So before, when I was in university, I would eat like a box of pasta a day and not really move unless I was going out to party or do whatever. And when I was in high school, I was pretty slim, but I also did nothing. So I didn't really have fitness in my brain. And one day I woke up and I was like, okay, let me try something. So I started walking. And my friend gave us, like, it was part of a promotion, a Fitbit. So I'm very goal driven. So I set my goal as 10,000 steps, and then I became addicted. 10,000 steps. I have to get 10,000 steps every day. What's the fastest way to get to 10,000 steps? Not walking, running. So I started running. And then I was very dependent on just making sure that I got that 10,000 step. In the beginning, Fitbits were just step counters. So there wasn't anything crazy. It's not like how it is today, where you could do everything on your gadget, but it was very good and it kept me accountable because I wanted to hit that target.
Right.
And some people in your comments, you say that they suck, throw them away. That my earlier Fitbit broke so many times. I tried to replace it. Actually, I got my first one free. I spent some money, got a new one, spent some more money, got a new one, lost a piece of it, and it really became part of my everyday life, right? And now I have an Apple Watch, and it helps me to be accountable in everything that I do. So
when you say accountable, like everything you do, like you have a busy life, you have a job, etc. What else can you use it for except for exercise? What else do you use it for except for exercise?
So I have my alarm on there. I'm supposed to be taking vitamins, so I set a tracker. So on my watch, it tells me, okay, maybe you should be taking vitamin D right now. Because I set it up that way. But you could set it up and tailor everything to what you need. So I have my messages that come into my my Apple Watch. If I'm going running and my volume's too loud, I can turn it down on my Apple Watch. I barely ever know where my phone is, especially when I go to my mom's house. I put it down and I leave it, but I know that on my phone, on my watch, I can track what's going on. If I want to put everybody on mute, I can do it from my watch.
Okay.
And it also keeps me accountable because all of my friends have some kind of wearable technology.
That's what I was going to ask you. Like you said, would you say most of them do?
Most of my close friends have an Apple Watch. even a lot of our cousins have an Apple Watch. So I know that. So I'll wake up in the morning, and I have a good friend who lives in the States, and he works out every day at 6 o'clock in the morning without fail. So imagine you wake up, you put on your watch, and you see this, and you're like, oh crap, I have to go and work out now. Because what am I doing?
It's like the gamers, like you can game
Yes.
with other people so you can share this. I didn't realize that you can actually share and compete then.
Yeah, I compete a lot.
Okay. All right.
So I compete with anybody. Nobody wants to compete with me right now because I
know
take
you're
everything.
dreaming. So how many steps are you up to per day right now?
So right now today, I have burned 1,058 calories of active movement. I've worked out for 92 minutes. I've stood up for 10 hours, and I've taken 12,879 steps because I ran up a hill. So this is not a typical day, but so I look at it and I feel pretty accomplished. So even if I do nothing for the rest of the day, I know that I moved this much at this time. And another way that it keeps me accountable is that every hour there's a vibration and it tells me to stand up. So at that time, I'll get up, I'll stretch, I'll move around, I'll sometimes just like move my arms, but it helps me to move. It keeps me moving all the time. And without it, I don't move.
How much does it cost? How much is this smartwatch? Like, do they have different levels? Like everything else, you have the entry level phone, then you have the next model, then the next model. Is that the same with these watches?
I've never bought a new model. I always buy 2 models behind, but they're still pretty pricey. So, but I find that Apple, in my case, they like to put out a lot of things and I'm still catching up. So that's my method of dealing with Apple. I don't buy the new Apple, whatever.
It's like the phones. I never buy the newest phone, right? You can't.
I go back. So they can range from 300 to 600. I think the new Apple Watch is like $800. But
so the one you're going to give me is about $800.
No,
Fitbits,
I'm going to the used store and find one that has been rebuilt.
Yeah.
And
So
get
with
you
my old
refurbished.
Fitbits, I used to buy a lot of refurbished ones or people on Kijiji selling them.
They have refurbished ones? Okay.
Yeah, even factory
Should not have
direct, you
said
can
that.
buy them. Oops, sorry, Uncle Frederick. You'll get a new one.
Brian, can
Yes.
you wake up one day and just not put it on? What would your day be like if you did that? Have you ever done that?
I do it when I'm sick. I do it also if I feel really tired and really sore. I will intentionally not put it on because if I put it on, I'm going to force myself to work out, and every time I do that, I get injured. So I'm addicted to it. Like I feel like I need it. For example, this plane ride is going to be 15 hours, and I'm going to miss a day somewhere in there. And I have a streak going, so I'm going to break my streak. I'm going to lose my streak, and it breaks my heart a little bit. But
it would probably tell you to get up on the plane, walk around, go meet the pilot.
It'll tell you.
It keeps you, it makes you accountable for yourself.
We're in the world of the G technology. Now we're up to 5G.
Yeah.
Right. And I was looking at the research, and 1G started in the 80s, just when you were born, right? 1G technology. Yep. And that was just the analog cellular technology. I was just talking that Frederick is he feels right now that he's such a winner. He knows everything about computers. He's the best. But I actually taught him. I introduced him to the computers when there were the floppy disk and the dot matrix and the dot. And if there was one dot out of place, you had to restart the computer. Right, that was 1G.
But this is one case where the student has become smarter than the teacher.
And then we had 2G. Right now, people are fearing 5G.
Yeah.
But 2G was in the 90s, right? That's when. No, you weren't born in the 80s. That was Kira's.
I was born in the 80s.
I was in the 80s, right?
I was born in the 80s. I was born in 1989.
Our son Kofi, he is the beginning of the 90s. He's 1990, right? Yeah. And that's when the digital cellular technology started. And that was just to get you a better call quality. right? Basic data. You could send a short message, SMS, right? The SMS service.
Yeah.
Then 3G was in the 2000s.
Yeah.
Right? Oh my goodness.
That's when the smartphones started coming in.
Speed,
Yeah.
the mobile data technology. You could download and upload really fast. You could actually speak and people could hear what you were saying. I wish I had my phone. I remember having one of those, the first cell phones.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a brick. And
I remember them.
you remember?
Big one.
They were like this big.
I remember
giant
those movies. Yeah, I remember those Asian movies where the girl that's been attacked by the hoodlums, she will always use her phone to hit them out, the big heavy phones.
And now then that was also when with the late 2000s where we had the gamers.
Yeah.
And you could be watching the mobile TV, you could be watching TV on your phone, etc.
Yeah.
And now the fear is about 5G. And the fifth, which is like 2010 onwards, right? And this is now the most advanced, right? Which it's now providing ultra fast technology.
Yeah.
So we have the little kids on their phones, and I am so surprised that the 4-year-olds, the 3-year-olds, they can actually pick up a phone and they can do so many amazing things with it, right? And it's like augmented reality, via what you call it, virtual reality, and
here, folks.
Chat GPT and all the new things that are coming, right? But you know what? I welcome it because I don't have a fear. I welcome it. And I think that in terms of medicine, in every single area, there have been advances. But one of the areas has been medicine, right? So, Brianne, what do you think as you get older? Or do you see when you wear your bit, do you compare? Like sometimes you go into the store and let's stop it this way. You're walking your dog and another dog owner is there and you stop and chat. Does this happen in this world of wearable devices? It does. Does it? Like,
it does. You meet so many, especially when walking a dog, you meet everybody and anybody, but people using like technology to communicate with other people, random people. I don't do it. I just think it's weird. Maybe it's like I'm getting older and I just can't. People say use like dating apps, do all this stuff, meet people. Technology and interpersonal relationships is.
But you see that's the drawback with the technology. It reduces that human connection, right? Because we're before that, people would meet and talk. Today, people text and talk. Right? Friends in the train or on the bus, and they're conversing with each other. They're doing it via a device.
Yeah, even right? Family's pretty bad.
Right.
Somebody's
look when the families come over. Right? Everybody's on the phone.
But I was going to say, when it's someone's birthday, what do you do now? Normally in the old days, you'd pick up the phone and you'd call and you'd say happy birthday and you'd sing happy birthday. Now you see a string, happy birthday, happy birthday. They don't even spell out happy birthday, it's happy BD, right? So this is the thing with the technology. It's designed to bring us closer together, but I think it's not driving us further apart, right?
Yes.
I think it's both. I think it depends. It helps me personally keep track. So some people I'll call, some people I won't, some people I'll be part of that string of messages. But I have a lot of friends that I speak to on the phone a lot. So I think that, yes, it makes it easier to communicate. Like we have family all over the world. Without a phone, we probably wouldn't talk or see each other or people to coordinate anything. But it also like it pushes you to make time for real connection if you want it. It's there if you want it. So I feel like the people that I do speak to on the phone regularly are the people that are really important in my life that I would pick up the phone for and have those like 2-hour conversations. My cousin, your niece, our cousin Adriana calls me almost every single day. We talk on the phone almost every single day. So I don't know. It's good. It's good. You can stay connected, but it's bad where it's hard to make those relationships, but it's a little bit of both. There's a lot of good and bad with everything. I'm addicted to my watch, but also my watch keeps me motivated.
All right.
Two things to be true. It's the power of the and. Bad things and good things together in one sentence to happen.
What about the food? Does it help you with it? It helps you to count calories, correct?
Yes, it can. You can put different apps on your phone and it can help you monitor your water intake. That's what I use it for. I don't do it for food because it would just be me. I eat a lot. So
But you're
it would
vegan.
just be,
How can you eat a lot? What is there to
I
eat?
eat a lot. It's everything. I think this is where I should have been on your show to talk about vegan food because I throw down in the kitchen and all I do is eat. And then Tatiana just eats everything. My sister eats everything that I make. But I eat a lot. So I would just spend a lot of time just on my watch tracking everything. But it could help you if you're working towards like a diet and you use it properly and you're not overly restrictive. It can help you manage your life.
Now, somebody like me,
Mhm.
who I think I'm like uncoachable in some areas, right?
Mhm.
And I don't like gadgets, but I'm motivated.
Mhm.
If you were to recommend, is there something that's easy, it's simple, it will
Yeah.
motivate, but you don't feel as if it's going to stress you out just using it?
I think that we would have to sit together and tailor the settings because I have mine on tell me every hour when you don't wake up. Tell me when you're so close to your step goal, but you're not there yet. Tell me all of these things. But I'm sure you can adjust any form of technology to suit your needs.
Like you
And
had to help me
lots of
with my, what do you call it, with this phone? What's this? The
The
iPhone.
iPhone. And trust me, that will be a challenge. Okay, that will be a challenge. You will have to take a lot of time to get this over. But anyway, let me just
Just
get into our email.
before you go to
Yeah.
the emails, I'm going to put Gary and Mike on the spot. You gentlemen are not millennials, but Gary, do you use one of these devices?
Yeah, well, I have a Fitbit, but I haven't, as I say, used it in the last couple weeks because it's a Versa 1. Mike has a Versa 2. And
Okay.
what happens is eventually the recycles on the battery get lower and lower. So it used to be I used to have to charge it once every, say, week and a half. Now
Okay.
it's down to like every 2 days or less. So and then when you lose all that, you got to resync it again to your phone and all that stuff. So it's been more of a pain than anything. So I'm not using it anymore.
Okay, you're gonna go back to what? Just a
Well,
regular?
yeah, I just ordered a really nice analog. I like because I'm a pilot too, right? So I like pilot watches, you know.
I
So
thought you were gonna say you had a Rolex. You're gonna get a Rolex.
no Rolex. No, just a regular nice analog watch for me.
Okay.
Yes.
Which Frederick has been dying to get a new one for years. What about you, Mark?
I have mine on right now, and my steps are a little low side for me. I'm at 4,600 steps right now for the day.
That sounds more like Frederick.
Yeah,
5,000.
okay, well, that's not bad. Some days, if I'm working really hard, I get up to 26,000.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
more
that's
like
a very busy day, and I'm sorry at the end of the day, but that's what I peaked out at sometimes.
Okay, thanks for sharing, gentlemen. Let's look at some of the emails and see how many people we have agreeing or disagreeing.
Yeah, before I get to the emails, let me just tell folks that you're listening to the Liquid Green Health Show. If you just joined us or you're joining us for the very first time, you are listening to the Coxes, and today we're talking about wearable gadgets. Our guest is Brianne Bennett. She is a millennial, and she's given us her take on how these gadgets affect her life.
Yeah.
You can write us to liquidgreenhealthshow@gmail.com. Send in your comments, right? And let us get your take. We have quite a few emails that have been coming in from during the week. And this one is from Anne, and she says, "Hey to Janet and Fred, get rid of the watches, just exercise."
Brian, what do you say to that?
There's a joke on the internet that says if you didn't wear your watch, did you even work out? Because everybody is so busy on tracking and knowing what's going on. Sometimes if I don't wear my watch tonight or if it dies, it's hard to track. I'm a big tracker. Like I make lists. I have notebooks filled with lists. So it makes it feel like it's less real. And I know that's a downside to technology, but you got to do what works for you.
Okay.
Yeah, but unfortunately for a lot of folks who are trying to resist this technology. It's here to stay. It's like Bitcoin,
Yeah.
whether you like it or not, it's here to stay. Here's one from Janice Cox. Says that technology is way too expensive, and it really does nothing to help you. A good paper log for health records is good. A pad and pen works wonders.
No,
So,
she's talking my language. I love my pen and paper for everything, right?
Yeah.
Because by the time I go to my phone to try and find something, it's already, you can just grab the book to open the page and there it is, right? But is it, I wonder, what do you think, Bren? Is it an age thing as well? Do you think that has
Oh,
something?
look, right here, I have like notebooks on notebooks. I am addicted to using pen and paper, and I think I'm one of the only people I know who still write lists every single day. I think it's more of a hybrid thing. I like to see, if I have a notebook, I'm also writing different things in there. There's paper everywhere. It gets cluttered and
Okay.
confusing for me.
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
At least I know, like I can count how many, it's easy for me to track how many kilometers I ran. So I just did that today and it took me 2 minutes. Otherwise I'd have to look at my notebook on the page of this, of this, of this. So it just, it works.
And it's a tool. That's all. Just use it when necessary. You don't have to become addicted to it.
Sure. I am going to disagree with Janice then, because she says it does nothing to help you. I do believe the current ones help, depending, of course, on how you use it. And I believe they're going to get better and better. And after you leave us, Brian, because I know you're on a time thing. Once you leave us, Frederick, you and I are going to talk more about some of the other ones,
yes,
and where we see the technology going from the research we've done.
Right. Let me just get to a couple more emails. Here's one from Ken. Wearable exercise equipment, waste of money. If you don't exercise, and most folks don't or get tired of it. What a waste. I would rather spend money on a pizza, and there's the size pizza. That's your choice, my friend. Good for you. Here's one from Cindy, and Cindy says, great topic to be discussed today, right on Cox's.
I wonder where Cindy
and Olivia says, liquid green, I'm not a big fan of all this technology stuff to keep fit. Humans have done without it for decades. It's a money grab for the big tech companies. I'm against it. And besides, they are not very accurate, the watches, that's it, for heartbeats, etc. We already have enough stuff on our phone to keep track.
Okay. You know what? I like some of the stuff she says, and some I will disagree, because as I said before on the other email, it's you don't have to be a big fan of technology, but technology, we cannot argue that we have benefited from the advance of technology.
We have, big time.
In every single aspect of life.
Yes.
Some of them are superfluous. We don't need everything. Like, I feel quite comfortable. I would love to get one. I don't have one, but I just hang on to my phone. And the phone actually has everything in it you can program. Right?
Yeah, when I go to the gym, I use the phone
to hold on to it or put it in your pocket.
I use the phone when I'm at the gym or I'm walking on the beach to count the steps. I think I use it for that.
Okay.
Right. Technology. Here's one from Mike. Technology is killing the human race.
Oh, wow.
We are relying on it way too much. Get a pair of sneakers and get out and walk. That's it.
Okay. Wow. Good. If we were having a vote.
Yeah. Most of our listeners are not too much into it. Cox's my smartwatch.
Oh, that's
look the size. That's from Hank.
What's his name? I forget that guy has a name. I forget. Anyway, we can't show the picture.
Thank you for that, Hank. Here's one from Eric, and Eric says, Fred can use his Fitbit to keep track of his pieces of cake. Still have that cake in mind, huh, Eric?
Eric, this is full disclosure. We got 2 more cakes delivered yesterday from Lamorde, and we actually paid for these 2 cakes. Because now he's selling cakes and he's doing a pretty brisk business.
Pretty good job.
I think I'm going to be, investing in his business, right? But the cake, honestly, Brian, you know me. You know how I love to eat. And you know how I like to not put on weight. So, last question before you go. If I were if, oh yeah, I already asked you if you were to recommend one, but do you think this would actually work for me or for us? Because if I get him one, he has to get me one.
I know it's
I
going to
think-
work for me. I listen. I embrace technology. I'm not one that will become addicted to it, but I understand the importance of having the tool. It's a necessary evil, and I think we should embrace it. You live in a world where changes are going to be constantly happening, and so let's go with the flow. Use it.
Yeah. Okay. There was
think
another
maybe-
email from. Sorry, go ahead, Brian.
No, I think maybe it can make a change. If you are ready to make a change, then you will make a change. So if you want something that's going to hold you accountable as a form of technology that isn't big and chunky in your hand, that you don't mind, it is expensive, but you just do it. Because it's so easy to just write something down and then just ignore it, and then you have empty books of just like you started working out again. So I think if you want the change, then wearable technology will help you, and if you don't want the change, then try it another way, and if that doesn't work, try until something happens. I can't hear you. And
Is your mic on
Janet,
mute, Janet?
Yeah, you're on mute.
Brandon, have you heard of an app called MyFitnessPal?
Yes.
MyFitnessPal?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, I think I have.
Yeah, I find that one's a really good one because the nice thing about that one there, you can take your phone, you can put it on the scanning mode, and what it does, it barcode scans a product that you're eating. So what you do is you don't have to type in this long thing in there. You don't have to put a name in. You just barcode it. It says found item. And then you put the amount of the item you have, and then it tells you the calories. And then it logs it for the day, how much calories you got.
Wow.
And that's another nice tool I think that's pretty handy. They're all tools.
And
The Fitbit, the Apple Watch. It's everybody has their own preferences in what they do. Piece of paper is perfectly fine too.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for that, Mike. Okay. So,
Yeah.
Brian, any last words before we let you go?
MyFitnessPal also helps you to track your macros. So how much
Your what?
carbohydrates macros. So how much carbohydrates you're
Macronutrients. Yeah.
how much protein you're eating. Are you in did I eat way too much cake and not enough protein today? Like that's how MyFitnessPal helps to
nice.
balance out. Maybe I should eat more vegetables. Maybe fruit should be in my diet. I've had too much sugar today. Let's
Or
cut
too
that
much
out.
salt
So
or whatever. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
it
you know
helps.
what? I'm gonna just before I let you go, just about what you just said, just pick on proteins, for example. And for the emails that we got that said, it's not really helping, those bits. Now, the technology, when it comes to structural biology, the people that study in this field, they were actually getting what you could say, they've reached a point of plateau because human scientific research takes time. It takes years and years, and then clinical trials, et cetera, et cetera. And what I realized is that there were over 200 million proteins that we have access to in the human body.
Yep.
And of that, scientists today know less than 1%.
Less than 1%. Yeah.
But there is a technology that was invented, the AlphaFold technology, and now within the next 2 years, this technology can now predict the structures of almost all of those 200 million proteins. So that's a kind of breakthrough that we're
that's a
hearing.
huge health benefit.
Right. And that, of course, when put to the test, now the scientists that will fast track research by millennia.
Yeah.
Right.
So now you'll have a better idea as to what type of foods to eat to get the proper protein. And that's what this type of technology
And that's
does.
just one small area. So for all the naysayers listening to the Liquid Green Health Show, I hope having my beautiful niece, our beautiful niece Brianne today, will at least help you to, to not come down so hard on it. Don't throw away the sneakers because you need them. But, birthday, Christmas, try one of these gadgets. Yeah. Brianne, thank you so much. We know you have to leave. And the only person I think in our family who I think is like on steroids when it comes to fitness is Kayla. And that's whose wedding you're going to in Australia. And I know
Yep.
Kira, some of the family are going, and do you know if she uses one? Yes, no?
Yeah, I think she does.
I think, yeah.
think she does?
I think
I've seen her.
everybody that is very fitness oriented in my life, in my personal life, wears
Yeah.
the watch.
Okay. All right. So
Yeah.
Frederick, you'll get one for birthday.
Yeah.
Thanks,
So,
Brianne.
anyway, enjoy your trip, Brianne. Nice
We'll
seeing
talk.
you. And
And-
we'll talk.
All right.
Hopefully we'll talk before you leave.
Okay, for sure.
All right.
Okay.
You
Bye,
have
guys.
fun. Have fun. Have a safe journey.
Mhm.
Safe travel, rather.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so Forbes 2022 issue
Mhm.
did something on AI, and they said that AI enables an unprecedented ability to analyze enormous data, and it augments human intelligence, right? And that's something that Brianna did, but basically what she was saying, it helps in that field. They went on to say that it's primed to transform the scientific research process, and that's something you mentioned about the
Yes.
AlphaFold.
Yeah. The
Right.
golden age.
The golden age of technology is now, becoming
Yeah.
to fruition. So whether you like it, whether you want to embrace it, it is here, and it's something that for people who have issues with it, I think you need to do some research and understand and realize that it is part of the human life today.
It's yes, and
Right.
it's just gonna be more and more
More and more, we live in a
Available.
technological age.
because it says these devices actually have the ability to track. This is what
Yeah.
Brian was saying in summary. It can track your dietary habits, and you can program it to track what you want.
Mhm.
It can monitor your heart rate, although one of our listeners was saying they're not necessarily accurate,
Yeah.
but
But they'll
with
get better.
improvement,
Yeah, they'll
there's
get
better.
better.
It can alert you when you're feeling stressed and anxious, right?
Mhm.
And it can also facilitate, which is what she said, she uses it a lot, to communicate with the people in your surroundings.
Yeah.
So think of what this does in terms of loneliness and,
Yeah.
so I can see lots of benefits.
There are
And
lots of benefits.
so it is an integral part of our lifestyle. People have the fancy ones, so you
Mhm.
can wear it, whether
All
you're
types,
dressing up or,
all types,
all types.
all types.
And of course, it can be a watch, it could be a ring. Apparently, they even have bracelets and they have earrings.
I heard they have T-shirts now.
T-shirts. I don't know.
Wearable
what would be on a
T-shirts. I've never
t-shirt,
seen
but-
one, but I've heard about it, and I don't know what kind of technology that. I don't know if you can wash it,
Yeah.
right?
So we heard about the Versa 2
Yeah.
from Mike and Gary, and we heard about Fitbit and the Apple Watch. But a couple of others we found was Omron.
There's Omron. That's a heart guide.
Yes, go ahead and tell us
That's a
bit about that.
smartwatch, and this device, it measures your blood pressure and your heart rate,
Mhm.
and it provides users with the real-time data and alerts.
Right.
So if you have a condition, a heart condition, this is something that it's a
Mhm.
wearable technology that could, certainly save a life or help you to monitor your condition.
And
But the pros about it, it has pros and cons. All of these devices
Yeah.
have pros and cons, right? The pros about the Omron heart guide is it includes convenience of continuous monitoring and the ability to detect potential health issues early,
Right,
Right.
which is great.
which is good if you have that condition. The con side of it is it includes the need for calibration,
Right.
and it has limited capability with certain smartphones.
Yeah. What about the Apple
Right.
series? The Apple series, the smartwatches, I think these are probably the most desired, like everything Apple,
Mhm.
right? And they're good
Popular.
again for
Heart rate monitoring, fall detection,
yeah.
and the ability to make and receive phone
Phone
calls.
calls.
And that's what Brianna was talking about. She has an Apple one, right?
Yeah. And Garmin,
Right.
Garmin are the ones who do the GPS
Yeah.
tracking. They have one.
Right.
And what do they have? They have the GPS enabled smartwatch, right?
Okay.
So it includes fitness tracking features.
Mhm.
It also has the heart rate monitoring.
Mhm.
It can stress your tracking, and it gives you guided breathing exercises.
Wow.
So you can use that for your meditation.
For your meditation. Wow. But
The
the downside of that,
Mhm.
it's the cost, right?
Right.
It's relatively high cost and limited compatibility with some smartphones. So maybe that's why one of our listeners wrote in and said that they don't work. She doesn't have a compatible
Yeah.
two compatible devices.
Well, here's one that's apparently one of the cheap ones. This is from Amazon. I am assuming it's from Amazon because of the name.
The
And it's
Amazfit,
called Amazfit
Amazfit.
U Pro. So it Amazfit BIP, capital U Pro.
Okay.
And this one is affordable. It's an affordable smartwatch, and it does include the features for heart rate monitoring, right? And this one tracks your sleep, and it tracks stress, your stress level. And again,
And we all go
because
through a
it's
lot
low
of stress.
cost,
Yeah.
so the fact that it's low cost and the battery life is pretty good, but against this one, the cons is that it's
expensive. It's a more expensive
not
device.
expensive. This is the cheap one.
Oh, that's cheaper.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it includes limited range of features. So you can't do that much with it.
So you get what
compared
you pay.
to- Exactly.
You get what you pay
what
for.
you
You get what you pay for.
Yeah.
But listen, this technology
Mhm.
is only going to get better,
Mhm.
right? And as I've been saying in the show, whether you like it,
Mhm.
it's going to be here to stay,
Yeah.
right? It's a tool. You don't have to become addicted to it, but you can use it for specific reasons. If you have a health concern or a health condition that needs to be monitored, these devices are very good.
Yeah.
If you're a fitness buff, these devices can work. If you're
Absolutely.
into calorie counting, if you're into dieting and stuff,
Yes,
these
for sure.
devices can work for communicating with your circle of friends or
But you can do that on a phone. So
no, but the thing it's the ease of carry with these things. It's a watch, it's light, you wear it in your hand, it's
worn a
easy.
watch for years, but
Right?
but
Rather than having a bulky phone,
but you're
right?
gonna have your phone anyway, because are you gonna get rid of your phone because
No,
of the
if your phone is in the car, right? You're at a meeting, your phone is in the car, you can answer your calls.
I wonder if people sleep with it. But you know what? Let's also mention at least one more, and that's the Samsung, because we talk about the Apple, and of course there's always the Samsung group.
Okay.
And this one is same features, body composition analysis, heart rate, sleep tracking. All right. And this, as Mike was saying, it has limited battery life. And of course, it's one of the more expensive ones. So, Frederick, if I get you one, will you wear it?
Depends.
Or am I going to waste my money?
If it's nice, if I'm getting it free, yes, I will.
Anyway, they're unisex. So if you don't wear it, I'll probably use it. Now, for the future of AI. Now, we talked about.
Well, my take on AI.
Okay, go ahead.
My take on AI. I will continue to say, in my opinion, it's not artificial intelligence.
Okay.
Right? And it can't be artificial intelligence. In my opinion, it is just a transference of human intelligence into something, something else. It's still human intelligence. That's my take.
And I'm not going to argue with you because we do this quite often.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to get into that argument. I'm just going to say yes. But what's something we found out in what's, compiling the information. And I want to spend a little bit of time with this. How much time? Yeah, we do have time.
Yeah.
And this is how it's really going to involve personalized medicine. Okay. Right? Personalized medicine. Because as they say, is from the time that the human genome was matched, scientists have been struggling.
That's just a few years ago.
To find out how can they help people in a more personal way. Because right now there's like a cookie cutter.
Yeah. One size fits all.
One pill.
One pill fits.
And everybody gets the same pill. Yeah. Regardless
of your race, regardless of your cultural background, or your geographical location, you get the same pill.
So now with the advent of the AI and the speed at which it's going, it says one compelling emerging application of AI involves synthesizing individualized therapies for patients. Moreover, AI has the potential to one day synthesize and predict personalized treatment modalities in real time and they won't need to do clinical trials. That means,
That's powerful.
right? They will be able to construct and analyze rubrics of individual biology, right? And is able to do so in the context of the communities and in where we live.
And that's powerful.
So what I understand from that is, you're in Africa, I'm in Europe.
Yeah, or somebody in India, or somebody in the
wherever,
Caribbean. Yeah,
right? You're sick with a bite from a bug. I'm sick with COVID, or, you know, diarrhea, dysentery, whatever. So they're going to be able to work and deal with people on an individual level, taking into consideration where you are,
the biological structure,
yes,
right,
of your physiology,
your culture,
right,
your location and everything, and give you the exact type of medical treatment
yes,
that is needed. And that's the beauty of this technology,
right.
that we are
So your
that we are
environment,
witnessing that's coming in,
Mhm.
that's coming in today.
your environment,
Yeah.
your lifestyle, your diet,
Yes.
all of this they'll be able to take in consideration, right, when they have these new techniques. Now, this is what I think, because everything about technology, we talk about data collection. It's all about the algorithms, right? And there is the political race, the US and China. They're in this big race as to see who's going to dominate, who's going to be on top in terms of collecting data. So what I believe is that these bits, these Fitbits, these gadgets that we wear, in order for the scientific community to actually gather the data that we're going to need to do this personalized testing and diagnosis, I believe that's why these gadgets are probably so, I don't know if this is conspirationist theory, but in this case, it probably would be good, because if they're going to need the data, if they're going to need the algorithms, what better way to collect it?
But then you get into
everybody wearing these.
yeah, but you get
devices.
into a two-pronged argument here, because people are going to say, okay, this is Big Brother prying into our lives. This is society bringing in this chip thing where they're injecting everyone with these gadgets so that they can track you, right?
Oh yeah. And if you're religious, it's like it's the mark of the beast.
It's the mark
right?
of the beast, and all these conspiratorial theories going to be coming up. But the reality of it all is, as long as you have a social insurance number, you have a passport, you have a cell phone, or you have, I don't know what the ID number is in the United States or other parts of the world, but as long as you have those things, you are trackable. Okay, so you can't get away from it, right? Even if you want to take yourself, these people that are taking themselves off the grid, they're still using cell phones.
Yes.
Right? And as long as you're using a cell phone, they can track you.
Yes.
If they can find minerals, 1,400 feet below the earth, they can find you.
Yeah.
So, this fear of embracing technology, in my opinion, is total nonsense, because it's part of the going forward. It's a tool that is needed. You might want to say it's a necessary evil, but
it absolutely is.
It's the best thing that we have ever have, from when things were invented.
And it's only going to improve.
It's going to improve the human life, right?
I think everything we've ever seen on Star Trek, The Matrix, on any of those futuristic shows, Hollywood always has the answers, right?
Yeah.
I believe the technology already exists.
It's just a matter of perfection.
And it's just going to take time.
It's just a matter of perfection.
The flying cars are not far away.
No.
Right? Would you at this point buy one of these cars that's
what?
The
driverless cars?
Yeah.
No.
Would you wouldn't?
No, because those cars don't. No, I don't. Listen, I would not stand in front of a driverless car. I'm a black man. Okay. Yeah, they won't recognize me. Right. No, and I said it as a joke.
Right.
But there have been tests where they were testing the driverless vehicles. They're programmed with AI, but they were programmed to recognize white people.
Okay.
right? They weren't
Yeah.
programmed to recognize Black people, okay, or people of color. And
Mhm.
it may
It's
sound
true.
like a joke,
No, it's
right?
true.
They
Even with
weren't
the
programmed,
GPT,
yeah,
those things, right? Yeah.
because they're using past data,
Yeah.
okay? Remember,
Mhm.
AI is an ignorant, for lack of a
It's
better word.
limited. It's
It's
like
ignorant in the sense that
it has to get an input,
yeah,
so it doesn't.
and it's
Okay.
using past data.
Yes.
So, maybe with the 5th generation or the 7th generation,
Mhm.
now they're working on the 4th generation.
Okay.
They're
5G.
gonna improve on it.
Of course.
But right now,
But
it's like a black box.
But I hear what you're
Yeah.
saying, because we were listening to something, and I think the lady was from Australia,
Yeah,
and she was talking about the criminal justice system and how they're relying on the AI technology
past. Yeah,
and for sentencing even. So remember, you were
that's what
listening,
I'm saying.
and-
It's not.
and as a Black person, the sentences were longer
Yeah.
because they looked
The
at
judges were relying on AI, Chat GPT,
to find out
to-
what
to-
was
to determine what type of sentencing.
the likelihood of reoffending,
Right,
right?
and that's where the bias is.
And because there was, the statistics, the data that's already there
Mhm.
shows how many Blacks are in the system. So it just looks as if you're Black, you're going to be most likely to offend.
Right.
And then you were saying you're scared of AI for that. But what I was saying is that already happens without AI. They
Yeah, but
already assume, and the sentences are worse
right, and it's not going to get
for
better.
Black people.
And those are the drawbacks with AI. But again, it's a technology that I like it,
Mhm.
and I would use it, but
Mhm.
I would use it with caution.
Yeah.
All right,
And
it's a tool, and that's all it should be used
And
as.
one more area I'd like to mention, I think Jay-Z,
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
the new, we're talking about the wearable devices, but this AI deal is affecting every structure, every part of society, right? And now the musicians with there's one called Stable Diffusion, and one that I have looked at, the photographers are really scared of this one, like Kofi, Mid-Journey, where you can actually, how they work for a song, you can give them the words and ask them, use these rhythms, this tempo, use this, everything musical. I don't know all the musical terms, but you can be so detailed that they can come up with a picture or a piece of music that so closely resembles the original that now the music industry is asking the sites that stream to not let AI use music to clone the pop stars,
Because they're not going to get paid for
they
it.
don't get paid. And what the courts say, they can't be sued because it's not people, it's not real, right?
But then they
But
could
then
say the
it's
same thing
so-
they can say the same thing for corporations, because corporations, they're not people.
Right.
Right. So
Yeah.
they can say the same thing. But not to stray too far off from the main topic today.
Mhm.
Uh
We're done anyway because the time is up.
yeah,
What are you
but
gonna say?
again, oh yeah, Jesus Christ, the time is done.
Really fast.
Time went fast already.
Yeah,
But
one minute.
we're out of time, folks.
Mhm.
I mean, this is a topic that we can go on and on. There's so many
Mhm.
compartments to this topic that it's not just health related, it's everything in
It's your
society it is
emotions,
touching.
right?
And so for those of you, as I've said earlier, who have issues with embracing technology, this is something that you need to pay attention to because it has benefits. It's a tool, use it as such. And with that, we're going to end the show with this quote that says, good health is central to human happiness and well-being. It contributes significantly to prosperity and wealth and even economic progress. As healthy individuals, we can be more productive and may even live longer. So until next Sunday, same time, same place, same station, this is Janet and Fred Cox saying, let's stay healthy on Reality Radio 101. Have a wonderful week, folks.
Great. Are you looking forward to it?
I'm looking forward to my watch, yes.
Thank you for listening to the Liquid Green Health Show with your hosts, Fred and Janet Cox, right here on Reality Radio 101.